Well, it's just gone 9 o'clock Central African time. This is BTV News. We are broadcasting live from the nation's capital. Hi, Mulibide Samoka. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. Molepolole South Member of Parliament encouraged students in his constituency to take their education seriously. Shortage of blood is a serious concern. And in sport, joining Galaxy are this year's Orange FA Cup champions. Posa is interpreting in sign language. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Now, in our first story, Molepolole South Member of Parliament, who is also the Minister for State President, Mr. Kabo Moraeng, has encouraged students in his constituency to prioritize their education in order to excel in life. Mr. Moraeng was speaking yesterday in Molepolole when touring schools in his constituency, where he also accompanied by a team of creatives who also emphasized on the importance of education. Jessica Bilan.
Before the commemoration of the Day of the African Child on June 16, a team of Molepolole creative minds led by Minister Moraeng toured all the schools in Molepolole South constituency to encourage learning. The schools visited include Sidumedi, Masilo, Buichoko, Ditejwane and Kharisichele Senior, whom the team want them to better their education. The tour was meant to motivate the students to prioritize education, which can help them unlock their full potential. We wish you to succeed in life. We are here to encourage you to prioritize your education. Education first. Some of the alumni of the schools encourage students to aim high and share that success is attainable if they work hard.
The reality of this life is harsh. Life is sometimes unfair. Children that died on June 16, they didn't deserve to die, but they died for a cause. They died fighting for you and I to have an education. So how about the education first? We're not saying hela hori so that you can come to school to pass by time.
As you unleash your talents, be mindful of the education you are given in schools, because you can't go anywhere if you do not know how to read and write.
For you to achieve more, you should be disciplined. And you expect to obtain higher results. Discipline is a matter.
The initiative of touring schools is applauded by the school management, as it shows true partnership between the school and the community.
I'm very much delighted. Originally, you as the MP from Molepolole South and the Minister of State President, and the way you are supporting us is very, very, very good.
He's always visiting our school and always advocating for education. We are thankful. This initiative is expected to continue next year to support government's commitment towards improving education in all schools. Jessica Pilani, BTV News, Molepolole.
Botswana's financial, economic and business newspaper, The Business Weekly and Review, celebrated its 10 years of existence in Gaborone last night. Speaking at the anniversary, lamented that the advent of digital technology and online news continue to threaten the existence of printed newspapers. Kikanzi Kumalo has more.
Newspapers have always been the most popular form of media among citizens for many years. The emergence of digital media has, however, changed this narrative, resulting in an aggressive competition against traditional newspapers, as online news outlets are immediate and report news as they occur. Despite this, the Business Weekly and Review is far from giving up, as they believe they still have what it takes to attract consumers.
Today, we gather here to celebrate 10 years of the Business Weekly, because it feels like yesterday when we were struggling to keep it afloat. And under the stewardship of Mr. Kiabetri Newell, the publication has truly become a business paper. The headlines that we see today are very different from what we saw several years back.
I'm proud to note that the Business Weekly and Review has invested heavily in their digital platforms, recording between 800,000 and 1 million hits on their website every month. This is quite comforting, especially in this era of new media where print editions are slowly fading away. It is good to note that Business Weekly and Review has managed to adapt with the times by embracing new media.
The Business Weekly and Review team celebrates the 10-year anniversary with pride and utter contentment, as over these years they have not only been the business news powerhouse, but also the source of free education on tax, investment and other economic issues.
Try to give new articles, fresh information on taxation, and this is what we do. Whenever there is a change in the tax laws, to help the public to understand what it means to their businesses, what it means to individuals, we are number one with the Business Weekly. We give them free articles. It's a trade exchange in the sense that they will also publish our articles and also put our logos.
At a fundamental level, financial and business journalism provides information to individuals which helps them make informed decisions, economic choices, and understand how their choices impact their financial situation within the broader context of the economy.
Staff members were awarded certificates in recognition for their hard work. Still at the ceremony, the business newspaper offered industrial attachment to 2 journalism students. Kikanse Kumalo, BTV News, Gaborone.
The first secretary to the Rwandan High Commission based in Zimbabwe, Mr. Karangwa Fini, encouraged the international community, including Botswana, to strongly condemn any form of divisions and ethnic ideologies for a more peaceful Africa. He said this during the Kwibuka commemoration to remember the 1994 Rwandan genocide that claimed over 1 million people. The event was graced by the Assistant Minister of State President, Ms. Boitumelo Hofamudimu. Kilekele compiled this one.
And this day, popularly known as Kwibuka, carries a significance to the Rwandan communities as it is a commemoration of over 1 million Tutsis who lost their lives during the mass killings in Rwanda in a period of 100 days. Though the day seems to have left scars in the hearts of many, it is said to depict the journey of healing, reconciliation, and invaluable lessons of renewal, unity, and rebuilding a new thriving Rwanda despite the unpleasant past. However, concerns were raised during the commemoration regarding the recent massacres against the Chingwala-speaking Congolese in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
The evidences are still rife, and our new generation is composed of youth being mentored by the leadership of our president, are committed to preserve the evidences of our bad history as a landmark to influence us maintain the path to a complete restoration, transformation, and prosperity of our nation from generation to generation. It is unfortunate, therefore, that only 30 years later, the world did not learn a lesson from the turmoil of our country. Just next to our doors, to our borderlands, politicians are busy fueling a cynical ideology of hatred and division.
Kwibuka remembering is a strong bond that connects us with our loved ones that perished 30 years ago. Reminds us our failures and imparts in us courage to draw lessons from our past.
Our collective responsibility shapes a new promising future of telling these stories. We remind ourselves of the side of the humanity, the selfless and determined character that shapes the Rwanda we see today. Yes, Rwanda is the country we're proud of, a land of 1,000 hills.
Some survivors still remember vividly what happened 30 years ago and can attest to the Rwandan story of despair to hope.
And I was a young boy, 1994. And then we came back. We sat in the middle of the bush, and then it started raining. It was pouring. Even 20 minutes after the rain, it was, because it's a bush, it was holding water, it was still dripping on us. So even if you could give me water, it could not go down. So until we were saved, we are here now. We went back to school. That hope we were talking about, we are the witness.
The contributions and efforts of the Iranian President Paul Kagame to completely alleviate genocide killings and transform Rwanda were highly applauded. Gelekelezwe Somulegae, BTV News, Gaborone.
Botswana still fails to reach the target of 45,000 units of blood per year. The Assistant Minister of Health, Mr. Setomolela Tisizwe, revealed this when officiating at the World Blood Donor Day commemoration in Letlhakane.
Every year on the 14th of June, the world gathers to celebrate the World Blood Donor Day to recognize the role of voluntary blood donors in saving lives of those involved in accidents, expected women during childbirth, and other conditions that requires blood transfusion. However, it is reported that Botswana is struggling to collect and store enough blood in its bank to reach the 45,000 units per year.
Botswana, with a population of 2.2 million, with around 60% of youth, still struggle to meet a target of 45,000 units of blood per year. And we're currently managing an average of 24,000 blood units over some years. Now,
We encourage you to donate blood because that can even save your own life. You hinted that Botswana only affords half of its blood donation target, so it is our responsibility as Boteti to play our role.
The voluntary blood donors are commended for their compassionate gesture of saving lives.
There are numerous transformative stories of donation. Each is unique, yet all share a common thread of compassion and humanity.
We recognize blood donors as hospitals, as a lot of accidents causes blood loss.
Blood recipients and donors emphasize the importance of blood donation.
I received blood, hence I'm standing here and still alive. I was encouraged to donate blood after realizing that women need a lot of blood, especially during childbirth.
We equally responded to the government need to partner and collectively with National Blood Transfusion Service to see it through that we equally contribute as responsible citizens.
At the end of the commemoration, voluntary blood donors were awarded certificates to encourage them and acknowledge their responsibility in donating blood. Svetzen Teboho, BTV News, Letlhakane.
Still on health issues, the Assistant Minister of Health, Mr. Sethomolela Tisizwe, says government is committed to ensuring that all BOTSWANA live long and healthy lives and have access to healthcare services of the highest standards. When officiating the International Albinism Awareness Day in Sorowe yesterday, Mr. Lela Tisizwe said the Ministry of Health offers access to both skin and eye care health services to all people with albinism. Kipidilecha Olebale and Koketso Ramonso reports.
International Albinism Awareness Day is one of the platforms used to enhance public education and awareness of persons with albinism, with the aim of creating a world where people with albinism can strive free from stigma and discrimination and to dispel misconceptions and reshape the narrative surrounding albinism. Mr. Lela Tisizwe highlighted that his ministry, through Princess Marina Hospital, Dermatology Clinic, has an albinism care program which allows all people with albinism to do regular skin checkups and get free sunscreen lotions.
At Princess Marina, the Dermatology Clinic has an albinism care program which has succeeded in allowing all people with albinism to get regular skin checkups and get free sunscreen and lotion with high sun protective factor, as well as early diagnosis and management of pre-cancerous and skin lesions. Ke tsa jalo gore mo Kuntsaleha wa Marina a supa jalo ka di program tse le gore re di tshwaretse lona ba le tselang jalo ka bona le boswafe.
Talo la rona re le bana le boswafe ga lena motswako o eleng gore re sireletsa.
Our skin as albinism people lacks melanin. That is why we have high chance of getting skin cancer. So I encourage each one of you to do their monthly checkups.
Challenges faced by those living with albinism include problems with eyesight as well as being prone to skin cancer. As such, having a database of people living with albinism can be a tool that is used to help distribute services across the country, such as provisions of sunscreens and spectacles. We are going to design a database that will help us know the statistics of those with albinism across the country, thus enabling us to know the number of people we are dealing with. The albinism community urged the government to consider providing them with resources to help alleviate their daily challenges, adding that certain cultural practices present obstacles to their lives. We as people living with albinism and disability, we want the government to give us first priority when allocating residential plots.
Majority of them
we have the right to participate in any social activities. Some cultural practices like battle don't favor us because we can't stay in the sun for a longer period of time without protection. How long will it take the society to acknowledge that it is because of our health reasons? International Albinism Awareness Day is celebrated to give people across the globe a chance to introspect and to educate the public on the condition of albinism. Kiipitile Raul Bali, PTV News, Sorowe.
You're watching BTV News. Thank you for staying with us. Now moving on, the Chobe Local Enterprise Authority Branch Manager, Mr. Tenboy Matebesi, said the Chobe business community is grappling with the lack of adequate and key businesses and marketing skills, which often results in excess pricing due to poor marketing strategies and local value chain development. He said as layer, they organized training and short courses to the community in order to upskill their entrepreneurial skills and practices. Kiso Temani compiled this one.
These trainings and courses aims on developing new and innovative ideas on marketing strategies and practical business guidances. Additionally, LEA also sponsored some local entrepreneurs to attend an international forum as a way to improve their business literacy and management.
The training is a force. We are entrepreneurship development training.
We have 4 entrepreneurship development trainings, but mostly we prioritize more on the marketing development strategies, which is one of the lagging aspects of this community, and it hinders their growth.
We tell banally
the manufacturers and their stakeholders share views and strategies that will help in strengthening their buyer-seller relationship for support growth and developments locally.
Leah is working very hard.
Leah has helped us on how to achieve a great marketing development and pricing strategies so that we can accommodate our customers.
People are complaining about the price.
The forum has helped me identify a potential buyer, also for me to introspect on my pricing strategy. I have noticed that most of the potential buyers want consistency, good quality at a good price.
Good quality.
Most of the time, we don't buy from our local entrepreneurs. Instead, we hinder their progress by buying from big companies.
As their supporters.
The business community is urged to benchmark from different established companies locally and internationally, as that will give them an opportunity to find valuable investments and strategic ideas on how to improve their products and services. Kitso Temane, BOTSWANA Television, Kazungula.
Residents of Tsokata in the Natagweta constituency have showered government with praises for taking a decision to construct the 15-kilometer access road from the A3 road to their village. They made the remarks during a Khotla meeting addressed by the Minister of Transport and Public Works, Mr. Eric Malale, who informed them that government acceded to their request for their road to be tarred. Bethany Mando has more.
This access road connecting Tsokata remote area with the main A3 road from Francistown up to Nata is only 15 kilometers. Under the revised road maintenance policy, the road does not qualify to be tarred or developed when any major development is carried out on the parent A3 road because it is over 10 kilometers, which is the set standard. But after numerous appeal from residents, government has made a special dispensation to include the access road to Tsokata, which will form part of the reconstruction of the A3 road between Nata and Gweta.
Kana ke tsamaiso a puso ile ha re bua ka tsela ya go e baakanya ha gona le gongwe ha ile gore re batla go kona tsamaiso yalo gore o ele go khuduthamageng gore ke bone hale.
It is government policy that when you want to make some amendments during the construction of major roads, like in this case the A3 road, and having an access road over 10 kilometers, you need to make special request to cabinet to be allowed to be given a special dispensation, especially in remote rural areas like Tsokata. That is why I am here to inform you that your road from A3 will be constructed, even though it is over 10 kilometers. The decision was taken to bring services closer to you.
10 kilometers. Puso elo hopotse jalo ka kopo e rena ra etsenya gore nya ba tlhokana le special dispensation. Me puso ya tlile ba gaetso.
Mela gore mo tsatsing la gompieko botsadi ja Tsokata le itumetse ka gore re ntse re na le sello sa gore a mmele rona a eta re ngwaga mongwe re bone.
The community in Tsokata is happy because we have been concerned about lack of a better road. We can attest that HSNV company were here a few days ago impressed some of us in the village, and this shows that the road is on its way.
Company ya HSNV ba tsile ha go ta go thapa bana ba rona go supa gore tsela e re ntseng re lela ka yone e gorogile mo ga rona.
Tsokatsa, like many remote areas in Botswana, is still lagging behind in developments, having few basic amenities like primary school and a health post. There is less economic activity in this tiny rural settlement, and with the decision to construct a tarred road, residents are optimistic of a better livelihood.
Meka re tudile 10 kilometers a kakwa ke ha re khonne go akanyetswa re leboga thata tona ka seo re sistema lebo go menagane go tswa motso wa Tsokatsa
ke letso ya rona re le batho ba motso wa Tsokatsa re batla go ipona le rona bana ba rona ba ta ba reka dikoloi di be di tshela sente.
Residents of this village are encouraged to cooperate with the contractor once the construction of this road has commenced. Bethany Mando, BTV News, Tsokatsa.
Lobu Farm plans to auction over 500 small stock before the end of the year. This follows a successful livestock auction in April where 400 animals were sold to local farmers. The chairperson of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Mr. Sam Brooks, who is also the Member of Parliament for Kalahari South, says the purpose of Lobu Farm is to help farmers improve the quality of their livestock. Mr. Brooks said this during the committee's recent visit to Lobu Farm.
When updating the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Agriculture on the progress of the farm, Lobu Farm manager said after holding a successful livestock auction in April, where 400 animals were sold to farmers, the plan is to auction 579 more before the end of the year. Mr. Brooks advised that the impending auction be advertised on time to give farmers across the country the opportunity to prepare for the auction. Vaccines and other necessities are sold over the counter. Why don't you find ways to sell livestock from Lobu conveniently as well to make them more accessible to farmers?
The revenue officer. Now I'm only asking myself, why would you delay with your stock so much, push them up to about 300, 400 to sell? Definitely the amount is going to go to book.
Have auctions 3 times a year to avoid overcrowding of livestock.
Or sell more frequently 3 times a year. 100 100 this one's the only person that is going to take a decision is my peers. Full stop.
The biggest problem we face at the farm when it comes to selling livestock is acquiring a license. It takes time. Members of the Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture pointed out that Lobu Farm still has room to grow. This farm needs a resident vet and also a generator in case of load shedding.
Kama Botswana o motona mara di famara tse dingwe tse dinnyane tse di bobotswa pong le some other part of the country tse e leng gore ga ba kgone go tsamaela ka kwano ke lebile go kgakala ja kwano.
And a way to sell livestock to farmers as far as Tsopong and Bubirwa.
Ga le setse le rekisa dipudi dinku kana le diruiwa tsotlhe tse di mono gore le ba di a dumeletse ba ya go reka le isteko go bone.
Farmers were advised to visit the nearest Ministry of Agriculture office to register for training for livestock management and grooming at Lobu Farm. BTV News, Lobu.
The Minister of Environment and Tourism, together with different stakeholders, have agreed to recognize the severity of climate change on planet Earth through holding initiatives such as litter picking and tree planting campaigns. This was highlighted by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Mr. Boatwena, during the recently held cleanup campaign held in Ordinary Gaborone in commemorating World Environment Day.
Botswana has joined the world in celebrating World Environment Day, which is the largest global platform for public awareness about the state of the environment. UN reports says nearly 40% of the planet's land is degraded, and droughts are 29% more frequent and last longer than in 2000. This challenge affects Botswana equal like other parts of the world. In a day to commemorate World Environment in Old Naledi Gaborone, government shared on the importance to restore land in Botswana to reverse drought and desertification, which is on the rise.
This year we stand together with the rest of the world to commemorate and celebrate the spirit of environmental stewardship under the theme, The Journey to a Great Future, focusing on accelerating land restoration, drought resilience and desertification priorities with the slogan, leaving no one behind. That is why we are all here today, because we don't want anybody to be left behind.
Realizing the need to restore land and help combat climate change, authorities in Old Naledi put up efforts such as planting trees as a way of resorting land within the vicinity.
I'm in it and you are in it as well. A collective effort. It starts with you and ends with you.
We took an initiative to ensure that we plant 12,500 trees in the country so that we conserve the environment. So far, almost 40% of the trees we've planted in various places across the country, including as far as Pukunsi area, and some of the schools there that we did participate in the course of last year.
To ensure residents practice land restoration, initiatives such as the National Environment Education Strategy and Action Plan will be rolled out or encouraged to keep the environment safe and habitable for the next generation. Rifilo Mutube, BTV News, Gaborone.
Well, that is the news this hour. To stay with us, Jose on standby to take you through the world of sport. Jose, it's your turn. Please take it away.
Oh yes, thank you so much, Samuka, and greetings to you all. This is Jose bringing to you Botswana Tonight Sports News, and with that, let's get straight into it and start with the top leading story. Terositile and Tabasising goals were enough to give Jona Galaxy a 2-1 victory over Urapa United in the finals of the Orange FA Cup played at the Obeditani Chulume Stadium in Francistown. Gatla Kakule has more details of the game.
The two teams started the game cautiously in the first 15 minutes, after which Galaxy started pressing Urapa United in search for the opening goal, but the Ostriches' defense was watertight and held on until both sides went to recess, still goalless. In the second stanza, Galaxy continued with their search for the opening goal, and their efforts finally paid off as they took the lead courtesy of Terositile in the 58th minute. Just when everyone thought the game would end in a 1-0 scoreline, Urapa United leveled matters through Lemoham BOTSWANA in the 8th minute of the referee's additional 12 minutes. And a minute after that, Taban Sising scored the winning goal, and Galaxy were crowned champions with a 2-1 final scoreline.
Overall, the boys did well. But we had a couple of our players, they had a stage fright. Eric Uka, who we know he has been our key player. I think the stage was too big for him. Our left back also, I think the stage was too big for him. And why I'm saying this, because if you look at the Galaxy, they overloaded on the left side. They had more chances and we were making a lot of mistakes. Even the goal, their first goal came from the left side. But overall, I think we're a better team in terms of play.
I think we have worked together as a team to achieve whatever that we have achieved. And to the supporters, we really appreciate their support. And each and everyone who is involved in this club, we really appreciate the technical team. It was not easy. We kept on planning and we had to get something. I'm happy that we managed to get double, and these are the results of hard work. When you look at how hard we worked in Africa and how hard we worked during the season, and this happens, then we really need to thank God.
The victory meant that Jwaneng Galaxy wrap up the 2023-24 season in style after winning the league back-to-back and the Orange FA Cup for the first time. The champions walked away with 800,000 pula, while runners-up Orapa United took home 400,000 pula. Katlaho Kakule, BTV Sport.
Women's congratulations to Jwaneng Galaxy for winning the Orange FA Cup. Now moving on, in the UEFA European Football Championship Euro 2024 opening game played last night in Munich, Germany. Germany, who won this cup in 1972, 1980 and 1996, defeated Scotland 5-1. The tournament continued today as Switzerland beat Hungary by 3-1 in another Group A encounter. In Group B, Spain won Croatia with 3-0, while defending champions Italy battled it out with Albania at Senegal, Iduna Park in Dortmund. The Marketing and Communications Manager of the Botswana National Sport Commission, BNSC, Anderson Nlisana, has urged the national sport associations to put more effort in the development of their respective sporting codes so as to gain promotion in the BNSC resource allocation schemes. Victoria Dakin with more.
Lisana explained that the promotion is done based on the impact the national sport associations has had in the development of sport. This is in line with the 2028 BNSC Los Angeles strategy as well as the National Vision 2036 strategy.
What is the impact ya sport development kana grassroots development as an NSA o tutuntsha go le kana kang re bo re lebella jalo gape le dio tse di tshwanang bo gore o thokometse jang mo go teng administration kana tsamaiso ya office ya National Sport Association le tse dingwe ya la tse e leng gore di teng tse e leng gore di supporta strategy sa rona sa Botswana National Sport Commission me how reaches a certain level ke gona e leng gore ya no re determine gore nya ka bonnete re ka go isa
Before promotion, BNSC conducts data collection where they assess the level of national sport associations in the development of their respective sport, and the results will determine whether they gain promotion, get demoted, or remain where they are.
The National Sport Association, they do what we call self-scoring.
We start by assessing the self-scoring forms submitted by national sport associations, which show their impact in the development of sport. Then we do our own scoring to determine whether they deserve a promotion or a demotion. Nlisana further noted that they have revealed some of the national sport associations that have gained promotion, but they are not yet done with the rest as they are still in the process of writing to them.
What
follows after this is allocation of resources to these national sport associations. This will depend on their ranking, where Tier 1 gets higher resources followed by Tier 2 and 3, while Tier 4 gets the lowest. We urge national sport associations to wait patiently as BNSC will communicate in writing. Some of the national sport associations who gained promotion are Botswana Table Tennis Association, Botswana Tennis Association, who have been promoted to Tier 1, Botswana Judo Federation, Botswana Basketball Association, and Botswana Badminton Association, who moved to Tier 2, as well as Botswana Horse Society and Botswana Taekwondo Federation, who moved to 3rd tier. Victoria Daken, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Now wrapping up the Botswana Tonight Sports News, Botswana Table Tennis Association Public Relations Officer Tsogofatso Malepa says preparations for the Africa Youth Championships and Continental Hopes that will be hosted in Gaborone next month are going according to plan. Khomzo Safako has more details.
As the final day of the African Youth Games as well as the Continental Hopes is closer, the BTTA said they are almost 60% with the logistical preparations to host a successful event.
In terms of preparation, I would say we are at 60% currently, and I believe at the end of this month, we will 90%. It's one of the personnel is on the technical side. But because of that international week, break in terms of the preparations. But they break at all, but they were push at the other side. So that is why push before they go to Angola, they are on 90% at least.
Malepa further highlighted that they have made some changes in terms of Commonwealth Youth Games hosting.
When we talk about the Commonwealth Youth Championship, but both continental events.
We were to host Commonwealth Youth Games, but later decided to just host continental tournaments, looking at different factors such as exposure, time, and youth development. We then had an agreement with Sierra Leone for us to host African Youth Games while they take on Commonwealth Youth Games.
The grassroots development, they are under 12.
Botswana is also expecting to host 10 countries for the Continental Hopes, which are the finals for the under-12.
We are hosting the Africa Hopes. Through them, we are going to have intensive training. Only 10 countries are going to be participating. They qualified through Regional Hopes Challenge. Ronaldo qualified December. 2 position 2 in his category. 2 Muacha South Africa, position 3, and Baba Bedil South Africa, meaning there are only 3 region in South region. By virtue of us hosting Hiberna, the opportunity to add 2 athletes, Kitinas Zwaka Hamokalo Masamtabani, for compete in the Hopes category, under 12, from the 9 to the 14th July.
The BTTA will kickstart with the Region 5 games from the 28th to the 30th of June, followed by the Continental Hopes on the 9th through the 14th of July, before the final continental event, the African Youth Championship, which is scheduled to take place from the 15th to the 21st of July at Puerto University. BTV Sport, Gaborone.
And that is all that we had for you from Botswana Tonight Sports Desk. Until we meet tomorrow, have a blessed night. And of course, let's continue on running behind the #changing BW Mindset Change. It is very, very vital. With that, let me bring it back to Ulibile to give you the headlines of tonight. Ulibile.
Thank you so much, Jose. Let's do this again tomorrow.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And before we wrap it up, let's take a reminder of our top stories. Molapolole South Member of Parliament encouraged students in his constituency to take their education seriously. Shortage of blood, a serious concern. Well, now in sport, Joining Galaxy are this year's Orange FA Cup champions. Well, that is all that we had for you this Saturday. To stay with us, where there's up next.
Good evening and welcome to today's weather forecast brought to you by Mpo Ishadar. Well, let's start off by looking at the current satellite picture. We saw that currently clear skies are visible countrywide. Tomorrow, we expect some partly cloudy conditions over central and northeast and some patches of clouds over Khanzi. Also, we expect some clear skies to be visible. In the morning, we expect some very cold temperatures over Francistown of 0 degrees Celsius, while over Khanzi, Kalagadi, southern southeast Katlenkweni, and southern central, we expect some cold temperatures of 2 degrees Celsius over Tsabong and Gaborone to 7 degrees Celsius over Mahalab. For Ngamila and Chobe and northern central, we expect some mild temperatures of 8 degrees Celsius over Letlhakane, Maitengo and Kasane to 11 degrees Celsius over Suapen. Now in the afternoon, we expect some mild temperatures countrywide of 22 degrees Celsius over Khanzi, Veda, Jwaneng, Gaborone and Silibe Pico to 25 degrees Celsius over Suapen, Kasane and Gumar. Now for SADC cities, we expect some partly cloudy conditions over Cape Town, cloudy conditions over Port Elizabeth, some clear skies over Upington, Johannesburg, Maseru, and Manzini. We expect some cloudy conditions over Antananarivo and Harare, some showers over Beira, partly cloudy conditions over Lusaka, and some clear skies over Windhoek. We expect some patches of clouds to be visible over Kinshasa, some partly cloudy conditions over Luanda and Blantyre, and some clear skies to be visible over Dar es Salaam. That's all I have for you. Have yourself a good night.